Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. Got my Cubs hat on. Big win yesterday. But I think my tweets jinxed them. Drew Smiley went seven and a third, 7 innings. No, a perfect game until he got tackled by his own catcher on a broken bat dribbler. So broke up the perfect game, broke up the no-hitter. So still an awesome game. 13-0 win for the Cubs. So a big, fun win yesterday afternoon against the Dodgers. The Dodgers, who were supposed to be these unbeatable dynasty. They're not doing so well. So fun. So hopefully the Cubs can keep rolling here this weekend at beautiful Wrigley Field. Probably going to be cold, though. As I look out the window this morning, I said a few F-bombs. Why? Because there's snow on the ground. It's effing April 22nd. We should be past. We've had some nice rain showers this week, which has turned the lawns green. So it's actually very picturesque. I looked out into my backyard, which my backyard is now as green as Frank's. So I'm happy about that. Frank has the advantage, the in-ground sprinkler advantage. So my grass is finally green. So the snow, the light snow, the dusting of snow, it kind of looks like what are those like those city arrangements like you put out at Christmas time. I had a friend, his dad like freaking loved. It was like from the 1950s, and it's like the old gas station, and here's the picket fence house with a light dusting of snow on the green grass. That's kind of what the yards look like. It's green grass with just a ever so dusting of snow, like you would have sprinkled it yourself to decorate for Christmas. So it is a little picturesque, but it pisses me off because it's April 22nd. I want some freaking heat. I want some sunshine. I want some warmth like we had last week. Anyway, I bitch about the weather a lot, don't I? I bitch about I get that from my dad. He loved to bitch about the weather. What else is going on? I started digging through more of the Goodwill pallet. I actually did dig through the Goodwill pallet yesterday. I've got to dig through a lot more because I've got to empty my car out for tomorrow's card show in Janesville. So I was going through when was it? Was it when did I pick it up? Whatever day I picked the pallet up. The next day here on the show, we went through some, and I told you, sometimes it's bags like these where you're going to have some dinged corners, but I found some goodies. There might be some decent stuff in here. I'm looking at a lot of junk, but I don't think I've looked through that bag yet. Some of this stuff I'll probably, today's topic, sell or hold. So I'll probably be doing the hold tactic on some of these. I'm just going to leave these in the bag, put them in a tub, and save them for a rainy day. So sometimes I find hits in unexpected boxes and binders and stuff, because I think within binders, and I don't know how Goodwill, I don't know if I know they don't go through these bags. I know they're not digging through these plastic bags looking for Mike Trout rookies or stuff like that. So I don't know how well they go through some of these boxes. Well, I found out yesterday that one of the boxes, it was like a shoe box, and I'm going through, and I think on the show on Wednesday or Thursday, I mentioned I've never pulled a Tom Brady rookie card out of a Goodwill pallet. That was like my anti-jinx. I jinxed Drew Smiley's perfect game, but I anti-jinxed finding a Tom Brady rookie card. Aha! I found a Mike Trout rookie card in a previous pallet. I found Kobe Bryant rookie cards in previous pallets. I don't think I found a LeBron James rookie card, but I have found a Tom Brady now. So, Tom Brady rookie card. It was in like a shoebox with a bunch of like what I thought was junk football. And I was pulling a few cards out that I'll put in quarter boxes. I'll list in my eBay store for $150. They were in good shape like this. I'm looking at the Brady. It looks like, again, I don't know what I'm looking for in grading. There's like a little like stain at the top on the white border. But the corners look sharp, centered. That's about all I know. So it was in this shoebox with a bunch of other is this 2000 Fleer? 2000 or 2001? 2000. And I wasn't even, because I've never found a Tom Brady, so I just kind of gave up looking. When I see 2011 Topps Update, I'm like, oh, because I've been there before, right? I've hit the Mike Trout Topps Update rookie. So now with Tom Brady, it's like, well, I've gone through 14 pallets. People just know to pick. It's been 23 years. Tom Brady's was good for most of those. And all of a sudden I'm going through, and I didn't even realize these were 2000 Fleer. I didn't even realize these were 2000 Fleer. So all of a sudden I just hit the Tom Brady, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a Tom Brady rookie card. So that got me excited. So Tom Brady rookie card has been pulled from the Goodwill pallet. I still have a ton of crap to go through. So that's about it. I mean, there were a lot of like I found some unique things. I found some like non-sports cards that I'll probably just use as content to just throw on Twitter. Hey, look at this card. There was a batch of SI for kids. There was the biggest one's probably the tennis player Madison Keys. But I'll go through and look to see if the other ones, the SI for kids, by the way, those prices have really dropped. If you haven't been paying attention to that market, back during the pandemic with everything else, crazy high prices. There's always this like stigma. I don't know. That's probably a poor word to use, but there's always this thing attached to SI for kids. Oh, they're these great, they're worth a lot of money. And that's kind of not the case anymore. But there were a batch of SI for kids. So I don't know how much more I'll get to today, because today my Bowman, my 2023 Bowman is scheduled to be delivered. 10 blaster boxes coming from Topps. It's actually in here in Madison at UPS. So hopefully it gets on a delivery truck today. So I'm going to do that. I will go live. I will bust my blasters. I'll bust a blaster. I'll bust my blasters today live here on my YouTube channel, probably at some point this afternoon. Usually when I'm really looking forward to a shipment, it'll be delivered at like 6 p.m. When it's like something random that I ordered, it comes at like freaking 10 a.m. So Bowman blasters. Let's go into the chat. Red Light 34, what's happening? Good morning to you. Kyle, what's happening? The title sounds like an interesting subject. It is a question I get asked. I think Dan, US Sports Cards, asked me in one of the chats here in a recent Hobby Evolution, and I kind of gave my answer, but I want to extrapolate a bit because I'm not like 100% committed to selling and flipping right away. But I certainly do that more than I do flipping. And so I figure today is a perfect day to talk about it, because people are going to start getting their 2023 Bowman. And I think that's the product that is probably the biggest seller hold question mark of a product is Bowman. Bowman Chrome Auto. Do I sell this now or do I hold it? Noah, what's happening? Sad to see Drew lose the perfect game on that. Always liked him as a Tigers fan. Yeah. Oh, what a bummer. But it was memorable. So, I think it'll go down. If he was going to lose, the perfect game / no-hitter. I'm glad it was on something like that. Why? Because it's memorable. We'll always remember that Friday afternoon at Wrigley Field when Drew Smyly had a perfect game and Yan Gomes tackled him. We'll always remember that. If it's just like a base hit into right field and then, Smiley's out of the game and here comes Estrada, it's not as memorable. But I think the Yan Gomes tackle, Yan Gomes wore a helmet in the post-game interview. So it's nice that it was lighthearted. They won 13-0. Like, yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, still a fun win. Cooter says, good morning. Have you apologized to Smyly for jinxing his perfect game yet? That's on my to-do list today. Apologize to Drew Smyly, the one person that jinxed him, the one Cubs fan that mentioned the two words. And it was funny because I'm in a Cubs chat and we have kind of like mixed feelings on the mention. I have very strong feelings as a former broadcaster. I have very strong feelings about the mention of a no-hitter or a perfect game in progress on the broadcast, because as a broadcaster, your job is to tell the viewers and the listeners what is happening in a game, and especially on radio, because you're not actually watching it. You're relying on one person to explain exactly what's going on, the score, if a perfect game is in progress. If I was listening, if I'm driving, cruising down the highway, I'm paying attention to the game, but I'm not paying attention to the point where it's like, I think he might have a no-hitter. I think he might have a perfect game. So I would rely, listening to the Cubs on the radio, Pat Hughes, to tell me Drew Smyly is not allowed a runner. Drew Smyly is perfect through 6 innings. So I rely on the broadcasters. If I'm, cruising down, I want them to say the words no-hitter or perfect game on a broadcast. And I did that when I broadcasted high school and college baseball and softball. And there's always the people in the superstitious people in the press box. You said it. You jinxed it. No, I didn't. There's no such thing as a jinx. There's no such thing as stepping on a crack and breaking your mother's back. It's silly. But hey, believe in what you want to believe in. If you want to believe in the superstitions, that's okay. I'm going to not believe in superstitions. So that's just as a former broadcaster, and that's your job as a broadcaster. You're not jinxing anybody. It's your job. Let's see. John says, like Tony Montana's nose, a light sprinkling of duct. Noah says, I get that. It took me a second, but I get that reference. Noah says, crazy, almost 10 years ago, the Tigers traded Drew Smyly for David Price. Markle's Cards, what's up? I spent 2+ hours mowing yesterday, and my back is protesting this morning. My back will be Monday. It'll be back hurt Monday because I'll be unloading all of this crap from my car, the Goodwill pallet. I'll be running boxes, my 4-row boxes up into my car. I'll be loading them into the card show tomorrow in Janesville. Well, probably won't. I'll keep them in the car after the show. So Monday morning, it might be coffee and Bayer. Is that like a back pain medicine? Fortunately, I haven't learned that yet. But my time is coming. My back pain over-the-counter medication is coming. Especially if I keep this central region as fat as it has become, weakening my back. TD Sports Cards, what's up? Good morning. Kevin says, I wasn't feeling too good yesterday. I put on the start of the Cubs game. I fell asleep during the second inning, woke up during the post game. I almost slept through a perfect game. Well, hey, at least you had 2 innings. You could say I watched the first 2 innings of the perfect game. Hope you're feeling better. Rich says tomorrow in DFW, chance for a record low high for the day. High tomorrow, 55. Good morning from a snowy Minnesota. What's up, Jenny? Herman in the house. We've got Zach and Porter. Good morning. Have a great good morning, good afternoon, good night. Have you considered volunteering at the Goodwill for a few hours a month? Hey, that's a plan. Then I could really get to know the inner workings of the Goodwill. Brian Dean, what's up? Baseball card curmudgeon is here. I plan on going to the Cubs game on July 31st after the National. Oh, that's right. The Cubs are. I thought they were on the road. Oh, I think they have, 2 games during the National? Like during the days of the National? Because I was looking this up. Still haven't got my National ticket. I'm perturbed that Super VIP is sold out. I'm perturbed. So now I'm just waiting. July. So National starts on the 26th? Oh yeah, they're out the entire week of the National. Of course, they're in town on Tuesday and Wednesday as the Nationals beginning. They're against the White Sox over on the south side. Then they go to St. Louis for a 4-game series. And then Noah mentions he's going to the Monday game, night game at Wrigley against Cincinnati. So that's a bummer. But, I mean, Cubs Sox, if you're there early on Tuesday or Wednesday, you can see a Cubs Sox game on the south side. I won't go to any games. My buddy who we room together, he always goes to like a game, and I'm like, nah, because if it's a night game, he like gets back at like midnight, and that's you know me, I'm like in bed by 10, so I don't go to any activities. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to that stuff. Like I'm traveling for the National, so I'm doing baseball card stuff. I don't need to go to a baseball game. I don't want to go sightsee. I mean, it's Chicago, so I don't need to sightsee. But I don't have to do that other stuff. Kind of like when I go to spring training. Typically, I wouldn't go to a card show, but Ethan's like, hey, let's go to a card show. Okay, let's go. But I don't care about seeing other parks in Arizona. I don't care about seeing the sights in Arizona. I want to watch baseball. That's just me. I know other people, when they go to a different city, they want to see stuff. I get it. Tom Brady played for the Patriots before joining the Buccaneers team. Thank you, Zach. John says, we used to say I found the rookie card of so-and-so, not a rookie card of so-and-so. You know, back when players only had one rookie card. That was back before I was born. It's been a while. That was before I was born. Although, well, let's see. I was born in 82. Cal Ripken had 2 1982 rookie cards. We did have Donruss and Fleer. Some players had, I guess, one rookie card back in those early 80s. Good morning, Terry. John says, I'm weird in that I think Tom's first baby mama is hotter than his second baby mama. Let's see. Zach, I think, says he agrees. So Bridget Moynihan or Giselle. Bridget Moynihan or Giselle. You know, I might be Team Bridget also. I mean, let's Google. You know, here's why I would agree with you. Bridget Moynihan's more real. Giselle just looks like a fake. Oh yeah. I'm Team Bridget Moynihan. Oh hell yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. Giselle. Yep. Oh yeah. 100%. No questions. I am with you, John. I'm with you, Zach. I am Team Bridget Moynihan. Kyle says, sounds like a pretty good palette buy overall, but not a good one for NASCAR. Maybe. I haven't dug into it. I know there's one binder of NASCAR. There's at least one binder of NASCAR. Other than that, I haven't looked to see any boxes. Sometimes there's like 10 binders. Actually, I don't think there's ever been that many. Usually it's been, I think, what you got was a combination of like 10 different palettes. So it all added up to like 15 binders. MKB man, what's up? Good morning. How were your sales this week? Mine were terrible. I think I fell off the eBay algorithms. You know, mine were not good. My sales were not good. Not bad, but not good. Sunday, I had good sales day on Sunday, but I was below average every day. I was because now with the volume I have, I should have a new. So I had my daily goal in dollars last year, which now that I'm really scaling up faster, that number should go up, and I'm still failing to hit last year's number. Now at the same time, a lot of these days, I've been listing a lot of low end stuff, which isn't going to sell as fast as I'll list that Tom Brady. I've got some other stuff that I'll be listing that's a little higher, not $1.50 stuff. So I've been listing a lot of $1.50 stuff. So I think part of it's, what I'm listing. But yeah, I'm not seeing the volume, even with the $1.50 stuff. I'm not seeing the volume, and it's not off by far. So it's not like, it's not like I'm panicking, or it's not like I'm worried that something's wrong, or it's basically, I think, a majority what I'm listing. Now my impressions and views are up though. So you go over the last 31 days, which now our outlier, which was my spring training, not spring break, spring training break, is now outside of our 31-day window, correct? Right? Yes. Let's see, March 23rd. So that 31-day window, I was already back, and it looks like, yeah, I'm outside of the low sales from coming off of spring training. So my sales dollars, I'm up 13% over the last 31 days. My impressions are up over 20%. So there's more eyeballs on my listings. My page views, people are clicking on my listings, 11% higher than 31 days ago. And sales conversion rate is up 1.4% to 8.7%, which is a really nice sales conversion rate. Now, I do say the outlier is out of my 31-day window, but what it's comparing to is also, so it's unfair to use those numbers because it's comparing it to the week that I was in spring training. So let's compare the last 31 days. We'll do sales to custom. So let's do, let's see. Let's just do February 1st. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. We want, how am I going to do this? Comparison date end is calculated. Oh, okay. So maybe 2/1/23, that should do a 31-day period. Generate. Let's see if it does. It does. Goes to March 3rd. So the previous 31 days compared to February 1st through March 3rd, a 31-day period. So this will give us a little better insight into what my numbers are. Sales dollars down 11%. Volume down 7%. So that's on sales. So that gives us a better look that, you know what, our March and April is down. Let's go into our other metrics, our traffic metrics, and we'll see where we're at. Let's see. Can I do a comparison? Let's see. Versus previous time period. Okay, I don't know how to compare this. Okay. But at least we have the sales metrics, and we're seeing a decline from February. Let's see. John says Bridget is his weather girl. Zach says John Yaz has 2 rookie cards. Oh, yeah, he got you. The Venny. He got you. If you're in Southwest Florida, card show tomorrow, 9-3 at Hammond Stadium, Fort Myers. Mark Duper, super duper. Ball game starts at 12:50 plus dealers expected. Up here, we've got the Janesville card show. I'll be in Janesville, Wisconsin tomorrow. Free admission, over 100 tables, 9-3. I'll have my bargain boxes. My supplies did come in my team bags. So I'll have team bags, top loaders, card savers, penny sleeves, along with my 25-cent boxes tomorrow in Janesville, Wisconsin. And then next Saturday is the Madison Card Show. So I've got dealers begging to get in. I've got dealers begging to get in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't even have space for you to bring your own table. I'm out of tables. The venue is out of tables. I don't even really have space to get you in if you brought your own table. We might be able to squeeze like a table in a hallway or something, but not ideal. So 125 tables next Saturday, Madison Card Show. I'll be set up there too. I'm starting to reconsider setting up. But I had great success I had fun last month setting up, and my buddy Mark's setting up again for the first time in like 6 months. So don't want to leave him hanging. Let's see. Rich says circa 2019-20, I bought a ton of SI for kids cards at a dime each. I just took everyone I thought was interesting. That could have been a great investment. Noah says, when do you think, here's another hot button topic. When do you think the Cubs call up Matt Mervis? Hopefully never. I don't know. I'm not a Matt Mervis fan. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I've got his autograph and I don't even remember it. Like I was going through my binder from last year's spring training because, and here's part of the reason why I'm not a big Matt Mervis to Chicago fan. Matt Mervis hit 208 in single A at the age of 23, 2 years ago. And then last year, all of a sudden, he came out of nowhere. He's at AAA because he was 24 years old, a little old for single A and double A. And he hit really well. He got the nickname Mash Mervis. Mash Mervis is going to be, who's the guy that like played forever in AAA? He's like one of those guys. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want him in Chicago. Mike Hessman, Toledo Mud Hens, about 10 years ago. Mike Hessman. I think he's going to be a Mike Hessman. I think he's going to be a Brian Lahair, where if he did get called up, maybe he hits really well, but then he just disappears in months later. I'm not a Matt Mervis fan. He's right now hitting, I think, 255 in Iowa, in AAA. By the way, the Cubs' first baseman in the last 3 games are combined hitting 538 with 2 home runs, 5 runs scored, and 3 runs batted in the last 3 games. So we don't need Matt Mervis, the Cubs, as we. So there's not a need. Now, will a time come when Eric Hosmer gets the old DFA? Possibly. But let's cross that bridge when we get there. So Matt Mervis, I think he'll be a good AAA first baseman. If there's a need at some point, he's not the future. He's not the future. He was like a 38th round draft pick. He's 25 years old. We have a small sample size. We have 2 full seasons, and we have 1 year where in single A at 23 years old, he hit 208. And the next year, he's 24 years old at AAA, and he hit like 300 with a bunch of home runs. Who is the real Matt Mervis? I think giving him more time at AAA Iowa is a good thing. And he's not even on the 40-man roster. But, I mean, that wouldn't – essentially, you would just DFA Eric Hosmer. That opens up a 40-man spot, bring up Matt Mervis. If he was hitting 350 and the Cubs' first baseman were, pissing on their leg every at bat, maybe, yeah, you probably call up Mervis, but I don't think you call up Mervis. Rich says at the same time, a bunch of 2003 Ace tennis cards. Nice. I bought one of my bulk buys. I paid like $100 for 300,000 cards, and there were thousands of 2007 Ace tennis cards, which featured the rookie card of Novak Djokovic, which I ended up selling like 15 or 20 of them for over $100 a pop. That was a great return on investment. I'm like, these junk, that's what we're talking about today, selling or holding. That was an accidental hold because I thought it was just junk tennis cards. Nobody wants tennis cards. So they were in that closet in some box that they'll just be, I'm holding them just because I don't know what to do with them. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hits and everything goes crazy. Oh, wow, this is a $100 card. I actually think that market, I think the Novak Djokovic rookies are still, I think they're still up there in price. I think the most I sold one for was like 130. But I still think they're around $100. Novak. We're talking raw copies. Let's see. I think I might have sold a couple like 75, 80. But most of them I sold for 100. So a bunch of slabs. Slab. Damn, I'm going to have to do a non-graded search. Let's see. Graded. No, it says there's 135 graded, 112 not graded, which just looking through it, that doesn't seem to be the case. Well, there's a lot of not what I'm looking. Well, this one sold for $40. But guess what? It sold at auction. And it had a $35 opening bid. I bet it would have sold for more, either A, buy it now, or B, as a 99-cent auction. That one went for best op $40. Again, that was a bid and a $35 opening. Here's a $45 opening bid, and that's what it sold for. This one actually had 30 bids, and it sold for $48. $51 plus shipping, 15 bids. I bet the ones that sold higher had 99-cent starting bids. Anyway, enough about Novak Djokovic. Jenny says, I look forward to calling what blaster has the auto in Bowman this year. With 10 blasters in the odds, I'm not counting on an autograph. I'm not counting on an autograph in my blasters today. I'll be happy with one, I think. Let's see. Rich says, not all my purchases turn out well. That one did, right? I think we all can say that. Turkey Cards, good morning. Zach, please don't break the fourth wall. What was that in reference to? Oh, the Yaz. James says, grade the color, sell when the hype is high. Absolutely. Although I don't grade, I just sell. Just flip it. Ellie De La Cruz. Look at what happened to that one. Ellie De La Cruz last year. James, I don't know if you know this story. Last year, Bowman, out of a blaster, I pulled a yellow chrome auto Ellie De La Cruz. I ended up buy it now. If I would have put it on auction, it probably would have sold for like nothing. And by nothing, I mean like $600, $700. But I sold it for $1,400. Everybody told me, get it graded. I didn't. I sold it when the hype was high, just after release, like within a week of release, $1,400 raw copy. The person who bought it sent it to PSA, got it slabbed, got a 9, and sold it for like $700 or $800. And they got it back quickly, so I know it wasn't on like the economy. I think they might have spent higher money on it. So that's I'm raw dogging it all the way on Bowman. If the market's hot on somebody like that, Ellie De La Cruz, I'm raw dogging it. Sell now. What was the release date for the Bowman? So Bowman 2023 release date is this coming Wednesday. Now, here's the thing, Herman. They've changed, and for anybody else, they've changed the way they distribute Topps. So these actually came from Topps. These aren't like from Blowout Cards or Dave and Adams or anything like that. This is from Topps. So if you put an order for Bowman in, they have likely already shipped, and you may get them as soon as today. Hopefully mine come. They're sitting at the Middleton, Wisconsin UPS depot, hopefully getting put on a truck right now for delivery today. So the way Topps handled Bowman, they put them up for sale, blasters, hobby boxes, and jumbo boxes at a cheaper price of what you could later find them on Blowout, Dave and Adams, Steel City, and all that stuff. And so you will get, if you order from Topps, you will receive the product before you receive it from a third party. blow out Dave and Adams Steel City. I like this. I like it a lot. Now I'm kind of kicking myself. I wish I would have bought maybe a jumbo box or a hobby box, because they were 200 for a hobby box. It was 250, which for Bowman right now, that's a decent price. Is it a good price? Yeah, maybe not, but it's a decent price. We're getting to the equilibrium point on Bowman, where in the past few years, hobby boxes are like, I mean, there's been times where they've been 400 for a hobby box in the last couple of years, and blasters were 20. And it's like, that's a no-brainer. Blasters are the way to go. And then they've come down, and the blasters have come up. Now on Topps' website, they were 30. Now I think in stores, like last year, they were $35 in store, and that's what we're seeing. I think you can buy them right now at Walmart.com, $35 for a blaster. Target probably has them too. So at $35 a blaster or $250 for a hobby, now we're starting to get to that equilibrium point where it's probably about the same. You know, you're going to get more cards in blaster in $250 worth of blaster boxes. I haven't run the math, but you're going to get an autograph guaranteed. I think I saw the odds. I think the odds. Let me go. I saw it on the Blowout forums, but there's some really smart people that know how to work odds and get this stuff fast. I think it was 1 in 27 blaster boxes is the odds for autographs in a blaster. Let's see. Oh, and it looks like maybe we'll find the answer on page 3. All right. Odds are already posted. Is this? Oh, that's first edition. Let's see. Checklist added for first edition. Blah 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 blah. Could he post a link? Blah 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 blah. Okay. Somewhere I read it was 1 in 27 blasters for an autograph. Maybe it was on this page, because this is where people are talking about their delivery and tracking and stuff. Okay. Well, maybe not, but the odds are long for autographs anyway. Now at $250 versus blasters at $35. I'll have to run the math and see. But you're going to get a lot more cards out of blasters. You're going to get more color, and you're going to get higher end stuff out of a hobby, and obviously the jumbo. Let's see. Sad we missed out on another 5-pitcher no-hitter. Oh, who was that? Who was the 5-pitcher no-hitter? Terry says, my UPS usually comes at the end of the day. I live across the street from them, so I'm always a last stop when they're heading back. That's a bummer. Let's see. Terry, you could have them hold your package and pick them up after trucks leave. Ours doesn't do that. Our UPS, like, you can only, and it's after, like, you can't just go over and pick it up any time of day. The only time they allow walk-ins at our depot is between like 8 and 9 p.m. It's like a 1-hour window, and that's it. So it sucks. Because I had to do that a few years ago with Allen and Ginter. And I'm like, can I do? Oh, they're like, well, it's on a truck. Now, maybe that's if it's already on a truck and it was like a missed delivery, like, because that one I had to sign for. And so maybe it was just on the truck, so I couldn't pick it up until after all of that. So that's quite possible if you time it right. Maybe they will hold it. I wonder how many successful no-nos or perfect games occurred when an announcer said something. Exactly. I'd like to know what's the breakdown? What's the breakdown? Go through all of the potential no-hitters, like from the 6th inning on. It was mentioned, and it happened, or it didn't happen. But still, that's anecdotal, because we all know the announcer saying something is not going to jinx. There's no such thing. Bo needs a spa day. Paul says, are you flipping that Brady rookie? Heck yeah. It'll be in my eBay store soon. Cubs play the Monday after the National. White Sox on the road as well. Merle, what's happening? I'm still looking for the Brady for $1.50 in your store. Hasn't hit. Hopefully MLS is in town because we know how exciting that is. Hey, the Chicago Dogs, and they're right across the street. I wonder if the Chicago Dogs schedule is out. The one year, Carlos Zambrano was playing for the Chicago Dogs. I think that was in 2019, but I didn't go. Let's see. Chicago Dogs. Cool stadium. It is. I've been to like a White Sox Cubs charity softball game. 2023 July. They've got them in blue and red, so I don't know what's home and what's away. Home or red. They're home. The Chicago Dogs are home every single day of the National. So there's baseball every single day right across the street from the Donald Stevens Convention Center. They've got a day game on Tuesday if those that are coming in super early. Wednesday's a 6:30 game, and it's 6:30 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do they have their team? Who's on their team? The Chicago Dogs. Let's see if there's any names that we might know. So far, no. No pitchers, no catchers. I don't recognize the infielders. Oh, hey, I recognize some outfielders. Charlie Tilson is on the Chicago Dogs. Well, let me click on his bio. Charlie Tilson, I remember that name. Did he play for the Braves? Charlie Tilson plays for the Chicago Dogs. And Anthony Greer, he was a prospect. I know he was in a lot of Bowman products. So that's the Chicago Dogs. So you can watch them play. You can see Charlie Tilson and Anthony Greer, just who you wanted to see. And they're playing, let's see who is on Lake Country. Oh, I think that's up here in the Wisconsin area, in Milwaukee area. Lake Country Baseball. Oh, yeah, the Dock Hounds. So let's see who's on the Lake Country Dock Hounds in Oconomowoc. Just a fun name to say, Oconomowoc. Here's your 2023 Lake Country Dock Hounds. Let's see, pitchers. I like they show who they played for last year. Mike Shaurin, he was a Red Sox. I've actually got a Mike Shaurin autograph. I was pulling a card yesterday to ship, and I have a Mike Shaurin Bowman Chrome auto. So Mike Shaurin is on the Lake Country Dock Hounds. Harrison Smith, that name sounds familiar. Let's see. That's all that I've heard of. And then, so they play Lake Country Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is against MKE. That's the Milwaukee Milkmen. Let's look up them. Milwaukee Milkmen. They've got kind of a neat logo, like the old fancy milkman. Roster, Milwaukee Milkmen. So this is probably, if you're in town for the National, you're looking to go to a baseball game, you're probably going to go see the Milwaukee Milkmen play the Chicago Dogs. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's see. Anybody that you've heard of? Corel Prime, that's a name that I've heard of. They've got a player named Christ. I wonder if it's Christ. It's spelled Christ. They've got a Ryan Zimmerman, but I don't think it's that Ryan Zimmerman. No bio added. Let's see. Who else? So I haven't heard of anybody. Team staff, haven't heard of those guys either. Christ Conley is his name. Who's the Chicago Dogs coaches? Coaching. Butch Hobson. Hey, that's a name I know. Butch Hobson is the Chicago Dogs field manager. Stu Clyburn. Well, they've got a who's who in coaching. Stu Clyburn and Butch Hobson on the Chicago Dogs coaching staff. There you go. Anyway, enough about the Milwaukee Milkmen and the Chicago Dogs. Where are we at? Zach says, Bo, you have no right to get mad at anything for selling out with your superpower being procrastination. It is what it is. An update on the wire rack. I don't see any bandages or casts. John is referencing, I'm trying to adjust the shell, the shell, these, where in the hell? Oh, right there. Trying to adjust these things at the new house. But I was struggling with it last night when I stopped over there. So I got to bring my hammer, my one lonely hammer that I own. I'll bring my hammer over there. It was suggested that I use a rubber mallet, which I don't have. So maybe I'll go shopping for a rubber mallet today. An update, let's see. John says, I'd pay to watch LRS. Ripken has 3 1982 rookies. Ah, yes. So 2 Topps rookies, 4 rookies. Topps Fleer, Donruss, Topps traded. Sammy Stewart had 2 rookies in 1 set. Jenny says Liam Hendricks has 2 different numbered same photo cards in 2020 Heritage, and he's officially cancer-free. Yeah, and I saw I think Zach posted that the other day on Twitter, and some people chimed in. I think one of them was a short print. I do remember that happening. One's a high number short print, and one's regular, so I think they just screwed up the checklist. Let's see. Rich says it was tax week. It's a good point, Rich. That's a good point. People are spending money to the IRS, not on baseball cards. If you sent money to the IRS, you really were not in a spending mood. And I would imagine a lot of people that buy baseball cards probably had to pay in some money after getting those eBay 1099s. Rich says, okay, time to go out, eat breakfast, and then go to Sabbath study and rest and the rest of my day. Have fun. Jenny says, you were exactly right. Bo was early again, but this time I was ready. I thought I was running a little late this morning. I was, Biscuit woke me up at 3 a.m. Biscuit woke me up at 3 a.m. I didn't hear her. Sometimes I hear her, like, usually, like, when she has to go out potty in the middle of the night. Usually she's really good. This week must be tax week. She's not been good in the middle of the night. And she's like 10. It's not like she's a puppy. She's 10. She's a man, a woman dog. Oh, I know what those are called. But she didn't whine, I don't think, before jumping out of bed. She jumped out of bed and then she was, and I'm like, oh man, she must. I think she's been thirsty in the middle of the night. But she, like, once I got out of bed, she just raced downstairs. She went potty, didn't even drink water. So she just had to go. Hey, when you got to go, you got to go. So I was awake and did the zombie phone thing at 3 a.m. For about 10 minutes or so before I went back to bed. So I was a little tired. That woke me up. You know, when you get woken up in the middle of the night, it just kind of ruins your sleep. So I wanted to sleep in a little bit. Anyway, TD Sports Card says, have a good day to Rich. I'm always happy when Aunt Jenny agrees with me. Let's see. See you on Monday. Where are we at? Let's see. The only true way to compare is this week to the week of April 15th of 2022, the week of April 15th of 2021. And there's going to be some outliers there. The things that it's so hard to compare because I'm scaling up constantly. So, like, even looking at the numbers from today to 2 months ago, you know, I've scaled up significantly in my, you know, I think 2 months ago, I was at 30,000 listings. Now I'm at 38,000, almost 39,000. A year ago, let's bring up the numbers. A year ago today, let's see where I was at April 22nd of 2022. I was at 11,489 active listings. I was selling about 74 items per day. So my sell-through rate was 0.64%. But I've more than tripled my active listings. And so my most recent snapshot that I took yesterday, 38,700 active listings, 104 sold per day for a 0.27% sell-through rate. And it's like, whoa. But tripling that amount, the amount of listings. A lot of those, like yesterday, I listed about 300 cards, but what were they? 81 Donruss commons. Those aren't going to move very fast. You know, when I list like Bo Jackson rookies and Kirby Puckett rookies and Cal Ripken rookies, those things move. Or if I, go dig through the dollar boxes. Remember we did the what show was it? I think it was the Rockford show. I bought 7 cards out of the dollar box, paid 55 cents a piece for them. And I think I've sold 6 of those 7, and most of them sold within 2 days. Hell, I think more than half of them sold, more than half, 4. I think 4 of them sold within 24 hours. And I think I sold the other 2 in the next couple days. So when I'm cherry picking and picking out good stuff that I know can sell, that's going to move faster. But when I'm just listing 81 Donruss, and I'm going to be listing a lot more of that stuff, it'll sell eventually. And it's nice when somebody comes in, they're looking to fill 81 Donruss, 82 Fleer, 83, whatever. And, all of a sudden that it's not just a $1.50 sale, it's a $12 sale. And somebody came in and bought, 15 cards, 16 cards or whatever. And then the 2021 snapshot, I probably had 3,000 active listings. And it was also the heat of the hobby. I'm trying to go back because I wasn't tracking my numbers in 2021. And now it's outside of the eBay. It's not easily accessible. Hopefully they save that information so I can find it at some point, because I would like to look at my historical data and see where I'm at. I've been tracking it myself for the last year and a half. It'd be nice to go back, 3 years, 4 years, just to see. I wish it tracked okay, here's I track active listings, because that's not something that eBay's going to have. How many listings did I have on April 22nd, 2020? How many did I have on 2021, 2022, etc.? Terry says, my last 31 days sales are up 47%, but last 7 days are down 23%. Let's see where I'm at. I'm on traffic. Let's go back, see where my last 7 days are. I'm just going to go last 7. Just looking at the graph, I know my last 7 days are up or are down. Let's see. I guess we'll do custom. What's 7 days from today? So 20, we want it to end on the 21st. So, oh wait, that's going to be 8 days. Come on, do some math, Bo. Is that correct? Oh wait, that might not be correct. Oh yeah, that's correct. That's 7 days. Okay, 7 days. Oh, my sales are actually up 2%, and my volume's up 13% last 7 days. That doesn't make sense as I'm looking at the graph, though. I'm looking at my sales graph, unless there was an outlier. Oh, I think my Sunday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that Sunday. I think that Sunday's what did it. So Sunday's within my 7 days. I bet if I went 5 days, my last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. My 5 days is definitely. Now we're just starting to grasp at straws, I guess. You can tweak the numbers to fit your narrative, however, which way you want to go. Brian Baker, what's up? Terry, can you compare this week to same week of 2022? John says, I would imagine every year to year has declined since the boom. I guess when you're comparing apples to apples, I would agree. In my case, that's not the case because I've been scaling up. So, during the boom, I had 3,000 active listings, but hell, I might have been making, I was keeping track. I don't know if it's on this spreadsheet or if I did. That's 21, 22. I think I was keeping track. eBay sales, 2020, 2021. Let's see. So October, and I probably had between 2,000 and 3,000 active listings. I wasn't keeping track of my active listings back in 2020 and 2021, but I was keeping track of because this was essentially the beginning of, can I make this work? October 2020, I started treating this as basically a full-time job with part-time hours. So my numbers in that fourth quarter down significantly from what I'm doing now, but I'm also 38,000 listings to 2 or 3,000 listings. January, way down. At a nice February that probably coincided with a new release in 2021. March was nice. Again, probably coincided with a new release. April was okay. And I think June, if I remember correctly, June of 2021 was my best sales month. And let's go and let's compare that to today, which is more than what I've done the last couple months. But June of 2021 coincided with, that's just my eBay sales. That doesn't take into account my expenses. What I track now is my net sales. So I think even though that number is bigger than what I'm seeing on my spreadsheet over the last 2 months, January outpaced that number. But that also was like mostly gross. I think there were some expenses taken out of that, but not overhead, not wax, because I think June was when I bought a ton of Bowman, which is, more expenses, more sales. So it's kind of but now I'm tracking net. Everything's net. So I have an idea of, what I'm making, what I'm actually making. And again, and that's, I can look at even eBay. You look in, well, compare your eBay, but what if I bought 2 pallets in January? My sales are up, but so are my expenses. Let's see. Brian says, when you're at a card show, what's your inventory look like? A couple of 4 rows, a variety of prices, all low price. Personally, I do only bargain boxes and supplies. So it's a bunch of 4-row boxes, all 25 cents each. I do fill a box. I don't think I have one near me. But like a 100 count box, fill it for $20. 200 count box, fill it for, I think, 35. Sometimes I'll say you can buy a whole box for 100. If it's new stuff, I say 200. So that's how I run it. It's super easy. And I also don't have to worry about a showcase. I don't have to worry about pricing. I don't have to worry about, is this listed on eBay? I keep everything separate. So my card show money is just kind of like gravy. And so, and I think I talked about this last week, where I just kind of use that to either fund some of my inventory buys at card shows, which is where I get a bulk of my inventory, or Cubs stuff, $20. Say I make $200 on quarter cards. I'll go spend 20, 40, $50 on some Cubs stuff. Let's see. Terry said, where are we at? Markle says, are we at or near the bottom of the market, or is there more drop to come? My opinion, I think there's still some dropping that can happen. I think we're in a good place. We're still in a much better space than where we were at pre-pandemic. So I think there's still room to fall. Let's see. John says, will there be signs at the Madison Card Show? There's going to be signs welcoming you to the Madison Card Show, but that's it. I hate signs. Terry says, I can't. I started selling cards again last summer. Dan in the house, what's up? When anyone ever says, are we at the bottom? I want to kick an otter. I do get annoyed. My buddy always brings it up. He's like, do you think we'll see Modern where it was? So he like fell into the hype and bought like a ton of Wander Franco Topps Now rookies. He got one graded. He got a few graded. One got a gold label from SGC. And I'm like, do you know what I'm like, that might actually, the Rays are really good, and that actually might be worth something. He's like, I don't even want to look at comps. And I'm like, well, I do. And so I looked them up, and I'm like, hey, this is good. It's like, you might get 40 or $50. And he's like, I'm sure I have more into it than that with the great, because he got it graded at that time. It was probably $30 to get graded, 35, whatever SGC was back then. So he's like, do you think? I'm like, no. Have you? There was a perfect example recently that I saw. It was a Tom Brady Prism Silver, like 2020 Prism Silver Tom Brady PSA 10 that sold for like thousands of dollars. Like there's no reason that should have ever sold for that amount. That's just a stupid, ridiculous. No. But the hobby was stupid at that time. This is about as normal as it can get. And was it great back then? For me, who had a bunch of inventory and I just sold. I wasn't buying anything. I was selling everything. And it was great because it propelled me to do this full time, because I was able to basically have a second full-time income, build a little nest egg to get off the ground. So I loved it. Let's see. John says, in what world has anyone ever been able to tell what the bottom is? Yeah, nobody. We can all speculate and guess. Except my 11th grade report card. That was bottom. I think I did okay in 11th grade because I had to, because I think 10th grade was a bad one. Florial for the Yankees. Sounds like Mervis a bit. Aha. Skeeter Barnes played forever in the minors. Mark Hoyle in the house. I'm heading to Wisconsin to take apart those shelves in your basement. Oh, hey. Awesome. James says Ellie is in AAA, going to be called up soon. I found 2 Iowa Cubs sets yesterday, 88 and 96. I want to go back to James's comment. I found 2 Iowa Cubs sets yesterday, 88 and 96. Listed them and sold the 88 mascot card about an hour later. That's the 88 set. And I don't know which set. There's a few of them of the Iowa Cubs. There's the mascot card, which he looks like the like why have a mascot that looks that scary? Scares all the kids away. But there's also a Paul Nochi card where he's like swinging a golf club. That's a popular card as well. And of course, there's a Mark Grace in 1988 Iowa Cubs. Going back to James's comment, kind of on the sell hold, going back to that. Ellie's going to be in AAA, called up soon. So I pulled the Ellie De La Cruz, yellow chrome, auto, sold it raw for $1,400. I've had about a year to use that $1,400 and reinvest. And that $1,400, I don't even know how much I've been able to reinvest. If I held it, I would have had $0 for all this time, on the hopes that he does get called up and the market is where it's at. We'll stay on the Ellie train. Ellie De La Cruz, yellow auto. See if there's any. I wonder if this is mine. There's a couple PSA 9s. Number 2 out of 75. I don't think that's mine. So this one is a buy it now or best offer. This is not even a sold, $1,725 or best offer. Looks like that's the lowest. Oh, this one, and these are slabbed. These are not raw. These are slabbed. Here's a BGS 9, $1,500 or best offer. So you've got, not only do you have a year into it, you have grading expenses, and you're going to have fees on top of that. So I don't know what grading. I mean, they could have done economy and paid $30. That probably would have been, I don't even know what the threshold is, but say it's $100 on grading expenses altogether. So say they get $1,500, which is the list price. You're down to $1,400, and you're minus the fees on $1,400. And I had $1,400 minus fees right away. So I guess actually, I say that $1,400 off the grading, you sell it for $1,400, And that's what I got a year ago. So you're making essentially the same amount, waiting a year. Maybe they go up. Maybe, but I mean, right now is kind of like if he's on the verge of getting called up, those prices should start either selling or price adjusting. Let's actually look at sold prices. And Ellie De La Cruz is like one of the hottest things. So here's one. This is a 10, sold for $18.75. PSA 10. Let's see. I don't think no raws have sold. Here's a 9. A BGS 9 sold for $8.50, and a PSA 9 sold for $12.35. So, yikes. I found 2. Oh, we just talked about that. Noah likes Ellie. I think he can be a superstar. Time will tell. Paul, what's happening? Long-time listener, first-time chatter. Welcome in. Glad to have you. Happy Saturday. Mr. Stumbles, I love the name. Could a team of Shohei Ohtani's beat a team of Babe Ruths? Walmart got them 35 order, 5 free shipping. I might have to pick some up from Walmart as well. I love Bowman. I love Bowman. When do those let's go to walmart.com. It's 35. I mean, I would have paid 35 at Tops. I'd pay 35 in the store. If I went to Walmart today and they had Bowman, I would probably buy every blaster they had. 2023 Bowman. $35. Oh, it's a pre-order. I got to sign in. I wonder when those ship. Let's see. Jenny says, I guarantee Bo will pull an auto out of his blaster, and I'm almost certain it will be of a Dodger. Oh, predictions. Will I or won't I pull an auto? We'll find out later. Hopefully, fingers crossed, later today. Let's check the updated tracking. I love UPS. Do they annoy me sometimes? Absolutely. But I much prefer UPS over FedEx. Let's see. They give you updates. Says it's still processing. I don't like that. Get on a truck, man. Get on a truck. So it's processing at my local facility. Let's see. So all new releases can be pre-ordered from Tops now. I'm loving that. I'm not sure if it's going to be all, but I think that's what's going to happen. That's just my guess is this is how Fanatics will handle Tops distribution from now on. And I do too. I think it's great. Let's see. Noah says, I'm getting a jumbo box of 2023 Bowman next month. Excellent. Jenny says, if I ran a UPS, I also wouldn't allow people to drop in and pick up packages. I could only imagine the traffic that would bring and disorganization. I agree. Because all of a sudden you've got everybody calling in, hey, I want to pick up my package. And it just ruins the logistics of it all. That would cause like mass confusion. Mark, there it is. Butch Hobson. Chicago Dogs. Herman, when I was tinting, I would have to do it all the time because our truck wouldn't run till the end of the day. John says, I passed that stadium coming out of O'Hare all the time. And it's cool. You can see when you're watching the game, you see like planes constantly in and out, in and out, in and out. Milkman seems counterintuitive to the pitch clock, right? Where are we at? Let's see. Where are we at? Zach says, I think it's totally fair game if I buy a raw card, send it in for grading, and when I don't get the grade I want, that I can return it to the eBay seller for a full refund. Jenny says, we already are talking about the National, too much on YouTube for being April. Who else is talking about the National? Every year, the content of National starts earlier and earlier. John says, Little Tykes makes shelves. Maybe that's more your speed. It might be. She's a man. It might be, although it doesn't, I don't think they'll hold up to the weight. Are you holding or flipping Milkmen cards? I'm confused. Gotta go getting my MVP ticket matted and framed. Very cool. Good morning, Talking Tatis in the house. The heat will rock you. Feel my heat. Ruffa Sports Cards, what's up? Is this an everyday stream? Yes. Every morning, typically, Monday through Fridays, we're live at 7 a.m. Central. Saturday and Sunday is kind of up in the air. I won't go live tomorrow. I'll be set up at the Janesville, Wisconsin card show. So I won't go live tomorrow morning, but I will Monday morning and review the Janesville card show on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Central. John says, Bo, you're thinking out loud. Would love to hear how to scale up sometime. We'll put a pin in that topic. Tom Brady played for the Michigan Wolverines, based out of Michigan. Currently in the powder room, and I'm not standing up. There's no dumping in the powder room. Let's see. Heading to a card show in Lansing, Michigan today. Some football fans consider Tom Brady the GOAT. The GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time. All mankind benefited from Bo being removed from the workforce. Up until today, I thought Ellie De La Cruz was a Real Housewife of Orange County cast member. There's Low Roller Scratcher. Did you buy any Monopoly basketball cards at your local Target? It's the new craze. I did not. I did not fall into the FOMO of Monopoly Prism. No. Basketball has become like hockey and soccer to me. I don't want to do basketball. It's just the market's so soft. I don't sell basketball. And I'm not falling into that FOMO. I'm staying in my lane. There's our hero, LRS, coming in off the top ropes to save this chat. LRS is the green grocer of hobby evolution. If you have the McDonald's Boardwalk Monopoly piece, I'm a buyer. Matty Ice, what's up? Good morning. Cubs win. Cubs win. He needed to open Monopoly basketball cards from Target since you can flip the blasters. I like when Bo goes to ultra bright welder mode on his computer. Looks like he's splitting atoms. I don't even know how that happens. Let's see. UPS only makes right turns. You're on a left turn street. It'll be a minute. That's actually a fact. I am on depends on which way you're coming from. I was thinking, I'm like, well, if they're coming from the UPS depot, but they might not be coming from the UPS depot. If they turn right out of their facility, they're going to have to turn left sometime. Or they just make 4 right-hand turns. Is tinting like vaping? I'm from Lansing, Kavanaugh Elementary alum. My team swept a doubleheader. Dan with the sweep. I did not find any Monopoly. So that's what I had for today. I sell and don't hold. Did I even talk about that? I think we touched on it. But typically I like to sell right away because I think I mentioned it in the description to this video. We look back, look at a Beckett hot list from 1992, and who do you see at the top? Brien Taylor. And you're like, oh, look. And so when we see Wander Franco and Ellie De La Cruz, we're like, oh, he's just going to be another Brien Taylor. But you know what? A lot of people made a lot of money on Brien Taylor. Why? Because they didn't hold it for 30 years. That's not, when you're prospecting, you're not holding the bag. It's like a grenade. It's like a hot potato. You got to sell. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Sometimes you wait. Well, you don't want to wait. You want to sell. You want to sell. Sometimes I'll hold on to something, and it's just I'm just going to hold on because his if he's a single A guy, there's a lot of room to come out and peak, hit a peak or excel. Sometimes it doesn't happen. That's why I just, especially on Bowman. So Bowman this week, Bowman's out. Who's going to be the hot sellers? And that's who I'm selling. And I'm going to list those first. And then I'll be listing everything else. It's fun to hold Bowman though, because there's always going to be guys that aren't hot at release. And you stick them in a box for a year or two, and it's like all of a sudden there's Julio Rodriguez, there's Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto. Those guys were not the hot guys at release. Ronald Acuna wasn't even the hottest Atlanta Brave in 2017 Bowman. That belonged to Kevin Maitan. And Tom Tide shifted on that one. So, but I like to flip, especially when it comes to Bowman. Whoever's hot, I'm selling right now. And in fact, Bowman release week, I use this reference a lot. Last year, 2022, Bowman, Khalil Watson, first Bowman Chrome. Right at release, sold that puppy for $22. Now would be $1.50 card in my store. So strike when the iron is hot. That's my thought. So I do not like to hold anything. I like to just flip it. If I have something, say I find like a first Bowman Chrome auto of a prospect in a box that I got for like 3 cents. Am I going to rush to sell it? No. I might hold on to that. It all depends on what I have into it. If I have $300, $400 into my Bowman Blasters and I pull the hot Chrome Auto, I'm selling it right now. I want to recoup that money. So that's kind of how I see it. So I don't always flip, but it depends on what I have into it. You know, if it's from a bulk collection and I have other stuff I can list to get back to profit on that purchase, then I'll set something back and I might sit on it for a little bit. Merle says, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains. Write that down. Write it down. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's what I had for today. Fingers crossed that Bowman gets on a UPS truck, gets delivered today. I will go live and bust it when it does arrive. So I've got to do some shipping. I've got to bring my Goodwill pallet and load my car up. I'll be in Janesville, Wisconsin tomorrow. So come see me in Janesville, Wisconsin for the Janesville Card Show. 9 to 3, free admission, over 100 tables. Looking forward to it. I'll have my bargain boxes and I'll have supplies. I'll be bringing top loaders, penny sleeves, card savers, and I'll have some team bags with me as well. So come see me in Janesville tomorrow. Don't forget, next Saturday's the Madison Card Show. It's a sold-out 125-table show, free admission, 9 to 3, next Saturday at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. And let's give you one last look. A Goodwill pallet find, Tom Brady, rookie card, 2000 Fleer. So that's been low roller. I'm sure you're typing that out now. What's your latest hit? There it is. Tom Brady rookie card in the Goodwill pallet. So have a great Saturday. Again, no show tomorrow. I'll be in Janesville. I'll review the show on Monday morning. Before we go, hit up the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. Son of a bee. Where are we at? Share. Copy link. Join the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. We have a lot of chat just like this. Low roller, where are you at? Hit that Facebook group, my man. Facebook group for Hobby Evolution. We're at 200 members. So let's keep it rolling. We've got some great discussion in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. A lot of the same stuff we talk about on this show and we chat about in this chat. It's just all day and all night long in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. So link is now in the chat, in the description. My eBay store also in the description. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Have a great Saturday. If I don't see you in Janesville, Wisconsin tomorrow, I'll see you Monday morning to review the Janesville Card Show, and I'll see you then.